Hello fellow gardeners, and welcome back to Smart Garden. I'm thrilled you're here today because we're exploring something that might sound unusual at first, but could completely revolutionize the way you think about feeding your soil. If you've been battling disappointing harvests, weak plants, or soil that just doesn't seem to cooperate no matter what you do, this guide is for you. What if I told you the secret to unbelievably vibrant plants isn't expensive fertilizers, but something you might have dismissed as simple farm waste? Today, we're uncovering how fermenting hay can transform your garden into a nutrient powerhouse, dramatically improving plant health and yields in ways you never imagined. Your plants might be struggling, and you've probably tried everything: better watering schedules, different fertilizers, maybe even amended with compost, yet something still feels off. The issue often lies beneath the surface in overlooked nutrient deficiencies and, more importantly, in how those nutrients are actually available to your plants. Traditional composting is wonderful, but it has limitations. The process can take months, and even then, many nutrients remain locked in forms that plants struggle to access. Additionally, raw hay or straw added directly to gardens often harbors weed seeds and can actually tie up nitrogen as it breaks down, temporarily starving your plants rather than feeding them. This is where fermentation enters the picture as a game-changing alternative. So, fermentation is nature's way of pre-digesting organic matter, and when it's applied to hay, it creates something truly extraordinary. Unlike traditional composting, which depends on oxygen and heat, fermenting hay uses an anaerobic process, kind of like making sauerkraut or kimchi. This revolutionary approach basically transforms inert hay into bioavailable plant food that your garden can actually use right away. The science behind this is, honestly, both fascinating and pretty straightforward. During anaerobic fermentation, beneficial microorganisms, mainly lactic acid bacteria, break down complex carbohydrates, cellulose, and lignin into much simpler compounds. These organisms multiply super rapidly, creating an explosion of microbial life that not only feeds your plants, but also fundamentally rebuilds your soil ecosystem. The fermentation process produces organic acids that lower the pH temporarily, which effectively kills weed seeds and harmful pathogens that could otherwise cause trouble in your garden beds. What you end up with is a rich, biologically active material that's just packed with beneficial bacteria, enzymes, and nutrients that are ready for plants to use. The fermented hay method is, honestly, surprisingly simple and only requires a handful of materials. You'll need hay or straw as your main carbon source, plus a nitrogen-rich material like manure or fresh grass clippings to balance the carbon to nitrogen ratio. Aim for something around 25 to 40 to 1. And of course, you'll need a microbial inoculant. This can be a commercial product containing lactic acid bacteria, or you can actually make your own by mixing fermented rice water with milk and molasses. The real beauty of this method is how accessible it is for gardeners at any level. Begin by chopping or shredding your hay into smaller pieces, which accelerates the fermentation process by increasing surface area. In a container or directly on the ground, layer your chopped hay with your nitrogen source, alternating as you build your pile. Moisture's critical here. You want the mixture to feel like a wrung-out sponge, holding around 50 to 60% moisture content. Too dry and fermentation stalls. Too wet and you'll create a slimy, foul-smelling mess instead of the sweet-sour pickle scent you're aiming for. Once moistened, thoroughly mix in your microbial inoculant, ensuring even distribution throughout the material. Now comes the crucial part: sealing your mixture to create anaerobic conditions. If using a container, ensure it's airtight. If working with a pile, cover it tightly with thick plastic sheeting, weighing down the edges to prevent oxygen infiltration. Place your fermentation vessel in a location with stable temperatures, and then practice patience. Over the next 6 to 8 weeks, the microbial magic happens. You'll notice the temperature initially rise as fermentation kicks into gear, then gradually stabilize back to ambient temperature. The material will develop a pickled, slightly sweet-sour aroma. This is exactly what you want. If it smells putrid or rotten, oxygen likely entered the system, and you'll need to start fresh. Once your fermented hay is ready, application requires some consideration. Unlike finished compost that can be applied directly around growing plants, fermented hay is still biologically active and needs time to integrate into the soil. The best approach is incorporating it directly into your garden beds 2 to 3 weeks before planting. Work it into the top 6 to 8 inches of soil, mixing thoroughly. During this integration period, the fermented material completes its transformation, with soil organisms processing the amendment and incorporating its nutrients into the existing soil structure. The results are often visible within weeks. Plants grown in beds enriched with fermented hay display remarkable vigor, with deeper green foliage, stronger stems, and noticeably improved disease resistance. Root systems develop more extensively, allowing plants to access water and nutrients more efficiently. Your harvests will likely increase both in quantity and quality, as plants receive a steady supply of readily available nutrients throughout the growing season. The long-term benefits extend beyond a single season. With each application, you're building living, fertile soil with improved structure, enhanced water retention, and a thriving microbial community that continues working for your plants long after incorporation. Remember, you're not just growing plants, you're growing soil. This fundamental shift in perspective transforms gardening from an extractive practice to a regenerative one. Beyond improved yields, fermented hay offers unexpected side benefits. Many gardeners report reduced pest pressure, likely due to the overall health and resilience of their plants. Improved soil structure means less frequent watering, as your beds retain moisture more effectively. Weed pressure diminishes because the fermentation process neutralizes weed seeds before they ever enter your garden. The fermentation revolution in gardening is growing, and now you're equipped to join it. Start small if you're uncertain. Try one bed and compare it against your traditional methods. Document your results, observe the differences, and adjust your approach as you learn what works best in your specific garden conditions. If you found this guide valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our next gardening breakthrough. Share this video with fellow gardeners who are ready to transform their growing spaces. Drop a comment below sharing your experiences with soil amendments or any questions about fermentation. Let's build a community of growers who understand that healthy soil is the foundation of an abundant garden. Until next time, keep growing smart.